The male loneliness epidemic is a lie. It is a distraction. And it's constantly being spoken about on social media. But here's the thing. It's very rarely being spoken about by men. It has been weaponized by horrible, insensitive people to demonize men. It is a lie. There's a lot going on, but it's not just loneliness. And I think by saying loneliness, it opens itself up to an enormous amount of criticism, and that just leaves the people who are vulnerable more open. I constantly see these people who think of themselves as woke or progressive, particularly women, and I'm sorry to say that, but it is particularly women, who go out there and make it very clear that they do not care. I'm about to show you so many examples of these hateful people that it will blow your mind what's going on out there and the outrageous narrative that's being driven against men. Now, I didn't know whether or not to include this in this video. I was going to film this video today, but I'll be open and honest and transparent with you. Someone, we don't know who it was yet, in our small community in which I live, unfortunately took their life not too long ago. I drove past on my way home, and the police were there, so no one knows anything, which must be a horrifyingly scary time for a lot of people right now in this area, wondering who it was. I'm so sorry to that family, but there's a high likelihood, 78% in fact, that that person is a male. And that's important because men aren't just this horrible dude that was cheating on you, or he hit someone, or he did something horrible in the news. That's a very rare type of man. And I feel like men are lumped into that category constantly. It's always this negative connotation when it comes to men. But men are throughout all of our lives. Your father, your grandfather, your brother, your little brother, your son, your baby. These are all boys. These are boys that are going to be men, or men who used to be boys. People who love you, who care about you, and yet when you hear that they're struggling, you make it about you? That is so beyond me. I cannot believe that's how some people act. I imagine this is what they would refer to as victim blaming. Okay, so here's why I decided to make this video and talk about the idea that this is a lie. And it all starts with this very important statistic. Okay, in Australia, 3,000 people end their lives every single year. Of those, 2,419 of them were men. Now, that can be extrapolated to any country in the world. And the stats remain the same, around 75 to 78%, okay, are men. That means that if 10 people end their lives, 7.5 or 8 of them are probably going to be men. So a lot of people will say this is because men are toxic, or they're living in toxic masculine environments, or they're not allowed to talk about their feelings. But I wonder if we've gotten past that. I wonder if there's something more going on. Because there are a lot of men who have not opened up or talked about their feelings, but there's also a lot of men who still struggle. So what is going on? I think by calling it a loneliness epidemic, we are lying about how bad it is. Because it's not like the loneliness is just not being around nice people. That plays a part, sure. But it's deeper. In France, there's these places called the catacombs in Paris, and they're built underneath the city. They're full of bones now. Which probably is an interesting analogy for this conversation. The bones were put there after, I think, the Black Plague or something like that, to make room in cemeteries. And people seem to get lost in them quite a bit. There's no actual map to these tunnels. No one really knows how far they go or where they twist and turn, and people get lost in them a lot. In fact, it's got to the point where they've had to seal these catacombs. I've always thought that these are a perfect example of what a distraught mind does when it's mentally ill. You find yourself locked away in this seemingly unending twisting and turning, uncanny journey to a place that seems lost. It's dark. You have no idea where you are. You can barely see your hands in front of you. And it seems like no one has ever been here before, let alone got out. And yeah, you're lonely, but it's deeper than that. It's more than that. Loneliness doesn't even begin to describe it. And that can even happen. This is the thing. This can even happen when you're surrounded by people. You feel so alone, it's like you've changed timelines or realities. You're somewhere else. These are the catacombs that people get stuck in. This is the real epidemic. This is what happens to people when they are ill, when they're struggling with depression or anxiety or bipolar or some sort of mental illness, of which a lot of you deal with, including me. It is so common to have these problems. It is part of the human condition. And that's what makes the videos I'm going to show you right now so much fucking worse.
If the male loneliness epidemic is a real thing, then that means evolution is working the way it's supposed to work.
Pardon?
Through natural selection.
Natural selection meaning only the strongest will survive?
We women, as a whole, are choosing to leave behind.
I think women are more than a whole, but go on.
The losers. And we are only picking the best. There's no reason why we should get upset about this. We should be happy and celebrate because Mother Nature is doing what it needs to do.
225,000 people press like on that. That's how much or how popular the hatred of men has become. She is talking about men being lonely here, but what does that lead to? It leads to men doing horrible things to themselves. And she says that that's natural selection. Man, that's just a real hateful thing. Like, I know I make videos making fun of people and shit, but it's always over like stupid stuff. When we're talking about ending one's life, that is the most serious business you can talk about. And yeah, I've made jokes about that word, the S word. But when it's reality, when she's not making jokes, when she's like being she looks very genuine on her face, you think to yourself, this is how this person actually thinks? That's fucking horrifying. But that's just one. There's more.
There is no male loneliness epidemic. It is a loser epidemic. Men would rather be alone than to evolve and change, than to recognize, wait, maybe I had it wrong. Maybe there's something I need to change. If you can't get a woman because none of them want to be with you.
Introspection's important. But I think what a lot of ladies, like she just said, if you think you can't get a woman, she's going to go in and say here, I assume, I haven't seen this yet. She's going to get in here and say that, if you're not being able to get women, then that's on you. And yeah, it may very well be on you. But that's missing the point of what this epidemic is. You can be in a happy, beautiful relationship with the best woman that's ever lived and be fucking miserable. Not because of your relationship, but stuck in your head. Like this is... They just get it wrong. They've just got it so wrong here.
Maybe try and figure out why. Instead of making women the problem, saying that their standards are too high, maybe try and figure out...
Your hair looks stupid, by the way, and I'm bald saying that.
Why they don't want to be with you. What is it about you that maybe needs to change in order for a woman to want you? And they'll say, there's no more good women left. Women are not like what they used to be.
There's a difference between an epidemic of male ending their lives and men being like, I wish I had a girlfriend. There's a fucking massive difference.
Women used to spend their days in the kitchen. Women only cared about taking care of the house and the kids.
Yeah, okay. No one's saying that. The only people saying that, I miss the old days where women could just stay at home and look after the kitchen and the kids are most of the time women, by the way, because this whole career life isn't what it's cracked up to be. We grow up thinking that, you got to, climb the corporate ladder. That's deliberate. That's deliberate by the Rothschilds and all this fucking shit to build workers and all that business, all right? Naturally, as human beings, we are born to raise children. That is the whole point, right? Anyway, whatever.
Oh, yeah, and also women used to take our beatings. Women used to stay quiet. Women didn't complain. Women didn't think they could get better. Women didn't have confidence and self-worth and weren't able to
We're talking about half a century ago, which I know isn't that long, but That's not what we're talking about here.
That's the kind of person you wanted. If you love your mum's generation so much, cool, maybe marry one of her single friends.
Who the fuck likes their mum's generation?
Women are not the problem. They have just woken up and realized they deserve better, that they don't actually need anything from these men, and they're only going to accept a man in their life if the man can make their life better. And if you cannot do that, you will not be chosen. If you can't level up and be the kind of man that women of this day and age want, you won't get to have a woman in this day and age. Your tricks are not working anymore.
God, that's some fucking self-flagellation right there.
Having kids when you haven't healed yourself and you don't know your own worth is actually the problem. It's why so many, if not all of us, have childhood traumas, have issues. What's happening right now is very normal. It's called evolution. It's happened many times before. When conditions change in the world, you either evolve to survive or you get left behind. This is evolution. Instead of complaining about it, evolve.
We're not talking about men not being able to pick up women. That's not what this is fucking about, you fucking goose. Ladies, this is not about you. Maybe it's about time you fucking heard that. This is not about you. A lot of cases, dudes will be upset because they can't get a girlfriend. Yeah, sure, whatever. But it's about so much more than that. Men need to have positive relationships with the parents in their life if they've got them in their life. They need to have relationships with other men in their life. They need to have relationships with their friends, other men, right? That's very important to have other dudes around you. Hang out, talk shit, drink piss responsibly. If you want, I don't give a shit. And a lady or a few ladies who are your friends as well, that's fantastic, right? A positive environment. A woman is one part of that. An important part for a lot of people, but we're talking about romantic partners there. Like, that's not the number one thing that we're talking about. These fucking people, man.
Do you think the male loneliness epidemic is a real thing?
Not so much. It's the age-old tale of men who don't know how to talk about their feelings.
Every couple of months, the internet loses its mind over the male loneliness epidemic. But what do men think about it?
Males are lonely.
And why do you think that is?
Because of toxic masculinity.
Loneliness is an issue that
Here's the thing. They're probably just interviewing dudes in Melbourne, which immediately is the most progressive and woke neighbourhood in all of Australia. So they're going to come up with absolute shit. But here's the thing. Blaming men for having depression or anxiety or mental health problems is the exact same thing as blaming someone who has been R-worded for being R-worded because of what they were wearing. There you go.
all genders. However, the way loneliness is expressed or the way people cope with it could be quite different.
Do you go to your friends when you have problems?
Sometimes. Not really.
We've all got one good best friend as a male.
With my friend group, I'm pretty lucky. Like, we're all pretty open about it. In the last couple of years,
there are a lot of dudes that seem to, as they get older, lose a lot of friends. I've been in that position where life gets in the way of friendships. And I look back, and I don't know if you guys are the same, but I look back at high school. I'm not friends with anyone I went to high school with. I don't think. No. And like, I know it was over a decade ago I finished high school, but I know a lot of people remain friends with people from high school for years. I'm not. Even the people I played footy with or rugby league with for a long time, I don't see any of them. Like, life just gets in the way, man. And I think for dudes, and probably for women as well, I don't know how you maintain a lot of those friendships. You become friends with other people, no doubt. I've got a lot of friends in the comedy world and all that type of stuff. But if you're not finding yourself into different niches, like if I didn't become a comedian, like, I don't know who I'd be fucking friends with.
been evident that you need to like open up a bit more.
You feel like it's not normal to kind of bring up certain things that are going on?
By the way, can I just point out that this lady who's interviewing these people has the best drag queen name of all time, Lena Tuck. Lena, tuck it in.
It's like cliche, but there still is like stigma around like mental health. You don't want to seem weak if you're reaching out.
I think if you are, most people who really struggle with mental health, I think are not worried that much about being weak. I hope. I'm sure some people are, but I think a lot of dudes are now getting help, which is fantastic. And I think the stigma has definitely changed over the past decade or so. I think the stigma now is surrounding things like medication. For some people, medication just helps and it's better than being dead. That is the big one to swallow, okay, for a lot of people. For some people, they worry about the stigma of taking a medication for something that's wrong in their head. And they will do that to the point where they get so sad, so upset, so anxious, so depressed that they want to end it all. And let me tell you this right now. Taking a pill or whatever you need to do is better. It's not great. You don't you don't want to have to be taking pills every day, but some people have to. It's better than being dead, though. Remember that.
They don't want you. They don't want you. You actually have to be likable to find someone. The fact that women don't need men to survive anymore has caused the male loneliness epidemic. Men had to manufacture a sense of need for their presence. And you don't know how to be desirable to women, so you're lonely. Aww. Aww. Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, that's real shit, mate. That's real fucking shit.
I want to be the man in the relationship.
Why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Okay, let's see what she says.
I'll be the provider and you stay home and take care of the house. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I want that too. But I don't want a gold digger, so you're gonna have to get a job. All right. I guess I'll try to make that work.
Point of order, everybody. Sidebar, have I made it clear enough that there are shit men? Okay, shit people with shit ideas that need to change, that need to get better. Absolutely. There's a lot that you can change in your life that will really benefit how you feel about yourself and everybody else around you. Number one, you need to go to the gym. All right? Or if you don't want to go to the gym, you need to be running. Or if you can't run, hit a boxing bag, something, some physical activity, something difficult. You need to be a better version of yourself. Okay, and physically is a great way to start that. Do things hard every single day. When it comes to female relation, if you're a dude, a straight dude, when it comes to having a relationship with a female, who you want to be with, the person you want to marry. I wrote about this in my book, Better Man. You can get it right now at isaacbutterfield.com. There's a chapter all about it. It's called Marry Your Best Friend. And it is so self-explanatory right there in the title. Marry your best friend. That's all I need to say. Go and listen to the audiobook if you don't want to fucking read it. I should post the whole thing on YouTube, but I will eventually. That is so important. Marry someone who you care more about than anyone else in this world. That you will give up your own happiness just to make them happy. That you will break your traditions just to make them happy. And if they do the exact same, then you're both ecstatic. All right? You don't just get in a relationship with a woman and say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this. No, that's not how it fucking works, dude. Now, I would like to point out, and it's very important to do this, it's not just women who are talking mad shit about this. It's men as well. For example,
there's no male loneliness epidemic. You're just a fucking weirdo. Contrary to popular belief, most women do like being around men. They just don't want to be around you because they think you're going to touch them without consent. And the crazy part is, you probably will.
Oh, shit. I mean, yeah, fair. Okay, I'll take that point on board. There are a lot of weirdos out there.
When women are lonely, they join a book club. When men are lonely, they become fascist and blame women for it? Okay.
Okay. Do they? The Sexpert, as a gender and sexuality health researcher. Jeez. Shut up, bro.
If the male loneliness epidemic is a real thing.
It's not a real thing. It's just not. Let me just say to all the dudes out there, if you're one of these guys talking about the male loneliness epidemic and how it's deeply affecting your life, I don't want to know you. You are not the type of dude I want to hang out with. I don't want to be around guys who complain about women not liking them.
I just think it's so much more than that, dude. I just think it's so much more than women not liking someone. I think it's got so much more to do with that. Loneliness doesn't just come from not having a female romantic partner. It comes from missing out on so many other things.
Like, seriously, my friend group would clown the fuck out of you. Like 30 minutes with me and my buddies, and you would do one of two things. One, you would break down crying and leave. Or two, you would do what men are supposed to do and man the fuck up. Like, here's the thing. If you're a guy who doesn't take care of himself and doesn't work his ass off and isn't successful, and as a result, women don't want to talk to you, I don't fucking care. Of course, women don't want to talk to you.
I don't disagree with what you're saying, dude. But I don't think that's what this is about. That's my whole point with this video, is I don't think it's about just not being able to get chicks. I think it's a lot more than that. One of the weird things from this is you hear a lot of people talking about men need to open up more. But then men open up more and you get told to shut the fuck up, no one cares about your feelings. By women as well, not just dudes. The male loneliness epidemic is not a real thing at all. It is the male, I can't say this, or I shouldn't say this word because it gets like demonetized and all this shit. But the male epidemic, I had to bleep it, I'm sorry. Ending your life epidemic is what the problem is. At least that's what I thought. This is going to be a weird twist to the video. I didn't know that women attempt to end their lives more than men. But men just so happen to use more lethal methods. So they're more successful at it. Go us. And when it comes to seeking professional help, yeah, there's a difference. Only around 27% of men seek mental health help versus 40% of women, or just under 40% of women. But that's only a difference of 10 to 13%. That's not that much. So men get it done more than women, but women are trying more than men. So what the fuck is going on? Is it depression? Is everyone just depressed? Well, yeah, a lot of people are, and that accounts for, I think, around 38% of the people who are successful at ending it. But that still leaves a lot of other people. We're talking about a lot of mental health disorders, particularly mood disorders. That seems to be the big one. So men are doing this because of a multitude of reasons that can't be covered in this one video, but the leading cause of the end of their lives between the ages of 15 and 44 seems to be this. Is this. Particularly where social bonds don't exist. And that's not just with women, that's with other men, friends, all that type of shit. It also has a lot to do with, and this is a big one, men who lose their families through the family courts. And some of those men are at fault, but some aren't. Men just seem to get to a point where they lose all their friends because they've got a family. And they become lonely. And that's one part of the epidemic of men ending it all. There's unemployment, there's homelessness, there's particular jobs, there's men working in rural areas, there's so many different reasons. But we also have women who are doing it, attempting it just as much. So why? Well, I think a lot of these people who we've shown in this video will happily blame men for that as well. Do you have an answer? Because I don't. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for sticking around throughout this video. Heavy shit. I'll see you with another video in a couple of days. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, press subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, look after yourself. Goodbye.